begin, the children of Israel find themselves in bondage. They are at war with the Canaanites, whose army was led by a powerful man named Sisera. Thank you. Now, compared to the Canaanites, the Israelites' army wasn't exactly equipped with the best type of weapons, so you can imagine there were some doubts on the Israel side. Deborah, a prophetess and leader of the Israelites, was told by God that she would help deliver Israel from Jazmyn, the king of the Canaanites. So Deborah called this guy named Barak to gather up an army to lead against Jazmyn. Now, Barak was hesitant upon hearing this because, I mean, come on, if we were told we had to lead an army against these people that had better weapons than us and were more skilled than us, we'd have some doubts too. So he decided, well, I'm only going to go out there if you, Deborah, go with me. Deborah agreed, but because of his lack of faith, Deborah prophesied that their ultimate victory, the death of Sisera, will be done by a woman and not him. So, now when we think about a warrior, we usually don't think about a woman. We think about some tall, buff guy. And since back in those days, women were considered inferior to men, and they were usually the ones that stay home, cook, and clean while the men went out to war, it seemed kind of strange. So, when the battle was coming to a close, Sisera realized that his side was losing. So, instead of staying there and fighting with his men, he chose to leave to save his own life. While he was running away, he came across the tents of Heber the Kenite, and since this tribe seemed to be on good terms with King Jabin, he decided to hide there, which is where our main character comes in. He met Jael, wife of Heber, and she invited him in. She showed him hospitality, she gave him a blanket to be covered with, and when he asked for something to drink, she gave him milk. He told her to stand guard by the tent so that if anyone asked, to say that no one was there. Soon he fell asleep, tired and exhausted. While he slept, she slowly crept up on him, had a peg that she used to hold down the tent, and a mallet lifted over his head and swung it down, and it went right through his head into the ground beneath him. After that, Barak came looking for Sisera, and Jael told him she would show him where he was at. So they came in and saw him, Sisera, dead with a peg in his head. And finally, Israel had declared victory against the king of the Canaanites. So after saying all of this, we wonder, what is the lesson to be learned by all this? Well, the lesson isn't that deception and murder is the way to victory. No, this story shows that God can use anyone to fulfill his plan. Originally, Barak was supposed to lead the Israelites to victory, but because of his lack of faith, God chose a woman to fulfill his plan instead. God wants us to fulfill his task as well, and just because we may choose to deny it, doesn't mean he won't find someone else to do it for him.
Well.
So, like I said before, just know that when God has a plan, he can use anyone to fulfill it, whether it be the poor person across the street, the rich guy in the mansion, anyone. Thank you.
Come on.